So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back once again to the greatest watch market update show in the world. Unbelievable but true. As you know, me and Sweet Kid Kino are always going to try to tell you what's really happening out there in the Muppet Boiler Room secondary gray watch market. Unbelievable but true. And we're always going to tell you what we think is happening out there. You know, what we think you should know what's happening out there. And today we have something special to share with you. You know, today, ladies and gentlemen, I went to play golf with a good friend of mine, Lucky. His name is Lucky. So me and Lucky, we went early this morning and we played some golf. And after we played golf, we sat down and we started chit-chatting and talking about our favorite topic, watches. You know, we talk about business, but then we talk about watches. I don't know how that happens always, but it happens. And Lucky was telling me the situation out there, how it is, what he believes. And this is a very, very true man. This man, Lucky, is smarter than Sweet Kid Kino. Unbelievable. But Lucky is smarter than Sweet Kid Kino. I said it wrong. Because Kino's looking at me kind of a little bit annoyed. Lucky is smarter than me. Unbelievable. So me and Lucky were talking, you know, while we were drinking a beer about the situation economically in the world. And Lucky does agree with Sweet Kid Kino. Kino's here today with me. He's watching this video that I'm making so I don't make no mistakes. He has cardboards for me that I can look at and what I have to say. It's unbelievable, Sweet Kid Kino. Unbelievable. So as me and Lucky were talking, he was telling me, Juan, the situation in the world is very, very bad. Things are bad out there. People are having a hard time making payments. Whatever payments you think of, they're having a hard time. This is what that gentleman Lucky was telling me. I want you guys to know this. Lucky has a pawn shop. Unbelievable, has a pawn shop. And he's telling me that people are coming by to pawn watches. And he does pawn them. But he was telling me that friends of his from other different states and cities that have pawn shops, he was telling me that people were coming in with Audemars Piguet watches, Vacheron Constantin, Breguet, you know, let's say MB&F, unbelievable, Richard Mille, all these watches, you know, they were coming in. And then the king of watches as well, Rolex. And he was telling me that a lot of these pawn shops, people that will come in with a AP, these pawn shop, you know, these small pawn shops, we're not talking about, you know, high-end pawn shops. We're talking about, you know, mama and papa's pawn shops. And they would come in with an AP. And I'll give you an example. An Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Perpetual Annual Calendar, rose gold. And he was telling me that they won't take it because they really don't know much about Patek Philippe or Vacheron Constantin or Breguet or Patek Philippe, you know? And they would just deny it. They didn't, you know, they were asking for $10,000, $15,000 on a pawn, and they wouldn't take it. They wouldn't take it. The gentlemen will tell the customer if they had a Rolex, because, you know, Rolex is the watch that is easily, you know, you're able to liquidate it, you know, convert it into money. But it's a harder time to convert an Audemars Piguet, a Patek Philippe, a Vacheron Constantin, a Richard Mille, they believe is like a toy watch to them. They won't even pawn it. For you to pawn those watches, you have to go into, you know, a high-end pawn, and not everybody knows a high-end pawn. So he was telling me a story that a gentleman was stranded somewhere in Kentucky. Lucky was telling me this story. And the person was stranded in Kentucky, and he needed some money as an emergency. And he walked into a small pawn shop. Unbelievable. La historia es así, ¿verdad, Kino? ¿La estoy haciendo bien? Kino just went like this to me. Unbelievable, that Sweet Kid Kino. So he was in Kentucky. Unbelievable. Stop it, Kino. Stop it. Kino's always making me laugh, with this. And he doesn't even mean to be funny. He just does it, then I laugh. Unbelievable. So he was in Kentucky with his family, and he had some problems, and he needed some cash quickly. So he walked into a pawn shop with his Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Rose Gold Perpetual Annual Calendar. This is a $100,000 watch. So when he walked into the pawn shop, he tells the pawn man that he wanted to pawn the watch for $20,000. $20,000. It's like a gift. They're giving the watch away, a gift. And the pawn man told him and looked at him and says, "Sir, this is a beautiful watch, but I don't know about these watches, He says, "This is an Audemars Piguet Royal Oak, And the pawn shop gentleman, the pawnbroker told him that, basically, I might look for it in the internet and find it, but we don't sell that watch here. What we sell here is Rolex and Cartier and some other thing he told him. I don't know what it was. And so the guy says, if you have a Rolex, we can do something. This man was giving him a $100,000 watch, and he was asking for $20,000 loan. And he denied it because they don't know about those watches. People don't know about AP in a pawn shop and MB&F, Vacheron Constantin. So he says to him, "Do you have a Rolex? Maybe I can do something with a Rolex." And he says, "My wife has one. But she's in the car." So he went back outside and he got his wife's watch. And the wife had a Rolex Submariner. Submariner, blue dial, blue bezel. And right away he looked at the watch, the pawn guy, and says, "I can give you for this watch, I can give you $15,000 if you want." So he passed up on a $100,000 Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Perpetual Annual Calendar, and he wanted to take the Rolex. What I'm trying to tell you folks is, right now, if you are in some kind of an emergency, pawnbrokers, I'm not going to say everyone, but most of them don't even know what an MB&F is. They'll look at you like you have 50 heads when they see that flying saucer. When they see an MB&F, with the dome, bubble dome, and the machinery going around in circles, they don't know what that is. Let's be honest about it. Pawnbrokers do not know what an MB&F is. I don't care what you guys say out there. These guys sell drills. They sell conga. Power tools. You know what I'm saying? They don't know much about an MB&F or a Richard Mille. They don't know much about that. But they do know about Rolex. They know about the king of watches. So people out there now, he was telling me, my friend Lucky, are now going around pawning these watches, and they have spent $100,000 on that watch. And if you are in an emergency, you'll be lucky if you get $10,000 on those watches now, on the Patek, on the Patek, on the Audemars Piguet, on the Vacheron Constantin, because they don't know those watches. The only watch that small mama and papa pawn shops know about is Rolex. There's no denying that. Right now, if you're going through hard times, and if you want to prove something, go ahead. Take an MB&F to pawn and take a Rolex to see which one they're going to pawn. Scouts Honor. Look for an MB&F and go pawn it and take a Rolex to see which one they're going to pawn. And I'm telling you, the MB&F is going to be worth 5 times more than the Rolex. But the one they want is a Rolex. Right now, all these watches, the APs, the Vacheron, the Patek, the Richard Mille, the MB&F, Breguet, people, they don't want those watches. They don't even understand those watches. They don't even know what a tourbillon is. This is what my friend Lucky is telling me. So if you're buying a watch, just in case you have economic problems out there. Lucky, my friend was telling me the watch to have so you can liquidate it like this is a Rolex. Lucky and me and Kino are not telling you to buy a Rolex. We're just telling you to stay away from these other watches, because if you do need money, you're not going to get the money. You're going to get SAF. You know what SAF is? You know what SAF is? Google it. So people out there are buying watches, but if they go into a moment of an emergency, those watches, you're going to have a hard time selling them and pawning them. Understand me? So the gentleman that was over there in the pawn shop, the guy tells him, do you have a Rolex? He said, my wife has one. And he went to his wife, like I was telling you, and got the Rolex. And he pawned the Rolex, but he would not take the AP rose gold perpetual annual calendar. Unbelievable looking time machine. He wouldn't take it. So things are bad out there, ladies and gentlemen. You got to be very, very careful how you're spending your money out there. Things are very, very bad. My friend Lucky is a very sharp man. And he's telling me that in the next 6 months, you're going to see people bleeding through their eyes. Bleeding through their eyes. Unbelievable. I never heard that before. But Lucky told me that. Bleeding through their eyes. Even Sweet Kid Kino couldn't believe that. He couldn't believe that. So if you are thinking of buying a watch at this moment, your best bet, your money to be safe, any watch you buy today, you're gonna lose money, except the hype ones. You know, your Daytonas, your Submariners, those watches will hold on to something. But the rest, you're gonna lose money, regardless. But it's much, much less than the watches I just finished telling you. You might be surprised. The AP, wow, he's saying AP. Yes, AP. Even Patek. If you go to Kentucky, you go to Alabama, you go to, I don't know, small town USA, they don't know what that watch is. They don't want that watch. The only thing they want is the king of watches. Unbelievable that Lucky. Unbelievable Lucky. He's unbelievable. He's a brilliant mind. Has a brilliant mind. He's unbelievable. And he was telling me that. People out there are coming in with these watches. One, I don't even want an MB&F. I don't care if it costs $150,000. And they tell me that they want $50,000. I wouldn't take it. Unbelievable. Unbelievable that Lucky. What a shrewd man. I wouldn't take it either. But, Lucky's, he's in the business. He's in the pawn shop business. I wouldn't take that watch. I would only take Rolex watches. A Datejust, an Air King. Unbelievable. Can you believe taking a Rolex over all those watch brands? Unbelievable. But this is how it is. So remember, ladies and gentlemen, times are tough out there. I'm telling you, times are tough out there. There's no chavo. No hay chavo allá afuera en la calle. No hay nestilla, no hay dinero, no hay cuartos. No hay. No hay chavo. There's no money out there, ladies and gentlemen. The party is over. So to you youngsters out there that are trying to fleece you out there, don't fall on getting one of those watches, because you're going to be stuck to them like Elmer's glue. Unbelievable, but true. Unbelievable. The number one watch that Lucky told me and told Sweet Kid Kino to get and make it money quickly, liquidate it quickly and make it money is Rolex. No doubt. Everything else is dead. Don't fall for that Richard Mille. If it costs $300,000, you're going to go into a pawn shop and you're going to get $100,000. You're not going to get that. Unless you know high-end, people that, loan on big things. And they're not everywhere. They're not everywhere. In an emergency, we're talking about an emergency. You need the money right now. Not tomorrow, right now. I promise you that if you go with a Breguet, you're not going to get the money you're asking for. I promise you, if you go with a MB&F, you're not going to get the money you're looking for. Vacheron, you're not going to get the money you're looking for. Patek Philippe, you're not gonna get the money you're looking for. You're only gonna get the money with the king of watches, and that is Rolex. So be very, very careful out there the way you're spending your money. Okay? If you're gonna, it's not good if you're spending your tutor's tuition money. It's not good. And you gotta stop being window lickers and lollipop suckers. The watch market be dead. But if you are gonna spend it on something, spend it on a Rolex. I'm not telling you that, and neither is Kino. But the gentleman from the pawn shop that I played golf this morning, Lucky, he told me you gotta buy a Rolex. Buy a Rolex. Forget about Bacheron. Forget about Breguet. Forget about MB&F. Forget about Richard Mille, AP, Patek. Dead. We're talking about in a small pawn shop. If you know high-end brokers, lenders, that's a different story. And high-end lenders is a secret circle. Secret. Unbelievable. So my friend Lucky told me that the watch to get is Rolex. I'm telling you, things are bad out there, ladies and gentlemen. You got to be careful. You got to be careful. So there it is, the story of the gentleman that had an AP Royal Oak Rose Gold annual perpetual calendar, whatever. Unbelievable. $100,000 watch. And they wouldn't pawn the watch for $20,000. But they pawned his wife's Rolex yellow gold Submariner with a blue dial, blue ceramic bezel. Unbelievable, but true. Unbelievable. But this is how it is. And you got to be very, very careful when you're choosing a watch brand. If you're choosing it for a moment that you have a hard time in your life economically, not that you're going to do it tomorrow, for a moment, then Lucky says for you to buy a Rolex and stay away from those other watch brands. Unless you know people in the watch game, But if you don't, you're going to be stuck with that watch. Okay? But you won't be stuck with a Rolex. You can make your money like this. Well, guys, I really hope you enjoy this watch market update show today. And it's about, those watch models and brands that I was talking to you about. And the watch to get, Lucky says, is a Rolex. All right? So you know what to do. We're not telling you to buy it, but you know which way to look now if you're looking for a watch. Rolex, the king of watches. Anyway, guys, I really hope you enjoy this watch market update. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like my video, and like me and Sweet Cake Kino say every week, take care and brush your hair. And this is the Blue Grotto in Capri, Italia.